Hi viewers, let's have a look around the garden today with spring on the way. We're nearly into October now, and this is the Chinese bayberry. It's a male. Finally we know what it is. And coming down, have a look at the custard apples, the Paxton Prolific. It's the biggest one on here. Here we have some of the smaller ones that didn't come to size, unfortunately. We've got some of the citrus, the curry leaf and citrus and mandarins over there, looking okay after winter. Tomatoes are in. There we go. Got some new guavas. This is a pink guava, Hawaiian. And the starling's white, which is supposed to be seedless, pretty much. We've got the red hybrid Japonicaba. That's now only a couple of years old and kicking on really well. The Chompu Longan came back after a total defoliation a couple of years ago. It's about to push out some nice new growth there and here. Inside I haven't taken the mangoes out yet, but Alfonso is in total bloom. But look how green they are. They haven't been totally phased, but need to go outside ASAP. And the King Thai, it's got new growth, and actually it's flowering at the moment. We've got a couple of rare Eugenia Candeliana, which could be flowering soon. They're a couple of years old. And over here I've got a lovely cinnamon tree. It's a cutting off a friend's tree that's quite cold tolerant. So this hasn't been inside at all, and it's just about to do a little flush. You know, pretty leaves. This is a Eugenia Candeliana, otherwise known as a Rainforest Plum. And I took this inside this year because every other year it just kept going backwards, but this year it's stayed good. The pawpaws are behind it. They're just starting to push flowers. So these are a little later than some, but this is the one that Daly's is producing from seed. My seed, actually. And this is the Pennsylvania Gold. It's got a flower on it. That's earlier, which is quite interesting. It's earlier. Szechuan Pepper is coming back to life. But this thing has the gnarliest thorns on it. I've cut them all off because the thorns are like shark's teeth. They're really dangerous. Carambola, or star fruit, that's looking pretty good in here. It's up near the eaves. It's hard, it's quite dark here. But yeah, it's quite good for being outside. And there's what I call the Bishop's Hat chili peppers, and down here is a cherry of the Rio Grande, just about to do a flush. Got a little bit of a flush happening soon. Avocados are pumping on the worts. This has got about 12, I think, this year. Lovely glossy ones. They're not dulling up yet, not ready to pick. This is my biggest Cherimoya. I grafted this last year, and it produced this fruit from a grafting. You can see the graft where I grafted it, and this whopper. So this is called Camper. Tastes nearly as good as the Fina de Jete. This is on the same tree. It's a grafted plant off a friend. Forbidden fruits version of the Cherimoya. Lovely bumps. Here I've grafted about 6-7 different varieties onto my lamb hearse. See, this is the lamb hearse, and this is the Pinkerton. You see the Pinkerton growth, and that's choquette. A little bit of choquette on there, and some Haas and a few others. Here we have the Saskatoon service berry that's just starting to flower. A Canadian pie is made out of these fruits called the Saskatoon pie. So this is just coming along now. It'll be ready in about December. The dragon fruit got attacked by birds during winter, had a late fruit on it. And the another pair of Lucumas in the ground. This is an interesting fruit from up north. It's a native of Australia, a Eugenia. Forgotten the name of it now. Gee, have to have a look. Oh, it's called the Cedar Bay cherry. Dailies have these on occasion. Saw some recently. One of the eliagus families. We've got a Bingii here. It's gone so bushy this year, I'll have to cut it back. Today I took out the lychees. This is the Bosworth B3, or Kwai Mei Pink. Choose your name. My little espaliered cherry, the dwarf. I've forgotten the name of it now. Here's some mulberries that are ripening up beautifully. They won't be far away, a few weeks away, and we've got mulberries. And this is the dwarf, which I don't recommend putting in the ground because it's not a dwarf in the ground, it's a dwarf in a pot. The Lucuma, that's about to do probably a fruit flush. And it's putting out some growth now. The male Chinese bayberry has finished its flowering, but I haven't got a female, so it's been pretty useless this year. But it's looking really lovely. This year I took out this fuchsia berry that I had, and I put a joster berry in to the same spot, and it looks happy. The Arnold blood orange, I potted that up and it's finally kicking with a lot of flowers, totally loaded in flowers. This is a mango Kensington Pride I grafted from my Kensington Pride 22-year-old tree onto its own seedling. So here I've got Kensington Pride, and here I've got Bowen Mango. So that's the Bowen. That one there. I do grow bananas, and this is what they call a bluggo, or a plantain. So it's got a huge bell on it, which shows when it stopped growing after March. The fruit is starting to, well, the flowers are about to go on the, where is it? There you are, there's a fruit on the flower on the Japoticaba. My koala longan, been in the ground for a year. And I got Beetle Leaf, which they use in Vietnamese entrees. Here's the Tai So lychee. It's looking very, very good. This is about 3 years old now. This is the eliagus multiflora. Has nice big red berries. And I don't know if it'll flower this year, but I've started doing some marcotting using Vasili's marcot pods. Well, it's not his, but he sells them. The pomelo is looking very good too. It had one big fruit last year, and this year it's got more flowers, so it might have more fruits. Another avocado, a colder climate avocado, is all in full flower and flowering currently. Lots of flowers, but it still hasn't set any fruit yet after a couple of years, which is a bit odd. This is a Daly's dwarf macadamia has a few flowers running on it at the moment. And over here I've got a bacon that's just about to flower, a bacon avocado which has only got one on it this year. And over here is the Home Beauty macadamia, in full, almost opened flowers. They're not quite yet, but they're not far away. That'll be spectacular in a few days. Totally loaded with flowers. Amazing. My hazelnut is getting just so big now. I'm still having trouble getting a good crop from it with pollinators. There's a seedling Brazilian cherry, Eugenia uniflora, and that has a couple of little flowers on it I've been finding. You know, they're pretty hard to find, but they're nearly open. Outdoor mangoes in the ground. This is honey gold with grafted king Thai. So this is the king Thai, and I've half cut the flowers off to hopefully that dies and it'll start pushing new leaves instead of doing a new growth at the end of summer. So I'm trying to do something a bit different.